this is what I have for you guys today. I have a ring, which you can kind of barely see. It's an owl that was given to me by one of my childhood friends who is a Rice grad. She was class of 14. So it's a special thing for me. And I have a really special one I got when I started this job on my wall in my office. And so I'm excited to see everyone else's. Mike, I'm going to kick it to you to get us started.
Thank you very much. As she said, I'm Mike Bennett, class of 1960. That was the Rice Institute, but the college system had started in 1957. So I would like to mention I'm a Wise College charter member. I want to thank all of you who are participating and who posted great pictures earlier of your owls, really showing a lot of school spirit. And since this is the first effort like this, I hope there will be many more as we get to know each other better through the channel of our owl collections or our parliaments. So the first one that I collected, if you can see on the screen, is about 9 inches tall. And I think the material is probably a dirty brass. It looks like a mixture of metal, but probably just some plain earth. And I think I got this in 1967 on my first long cruise with the Navy. We were in West Africa, and I believe I got this in a market in Freetown, Sierra Leone. And of course, it didn't become a parliament until I got around to the other side of Africa and at a market in Mombasa, Kenya, where we stopped. I saw this carved wooden one, which is about 6 inches tall. Okay. And what appealed to me about this one was its almost Danish modern look. Of course, it made the carving less complicated. You didn't have to do all the feathers and the detail in the eyes and the ears, but I was really very struck by its clean lines and everything. So now 2 owls, I've got a parliament. And over the course of the 60 plus years that I've been out of Rice, I might not have 200, but I've got a list of over 150 with detailed descriptions. And that doesn't include some of the larger ones around the house that I haven't packed yet because I'm moving to an apartment later this month. So I've had to do some serious downsizing. So collecting these owls has really, I think, brought me closer to Rice and really helps me remember just some of the fondest experiences, particularly of developing the college system and interacting with people and faculty on the campus. So I'd like to hear now about some of your OWL Parliament members.
Right, everyone. Oh, sorry. I can't see who that is right now.
This is Wendy Germani. I'm in the class of 1961, so I'm a year behind him. And this is one of my favorite owls. I don't know if you can see him or not. I bought him. I'm also was born in the Netherlands. And this is an owl from the Netherlands, a Delta owl from the Netherlands. And I like him because he's blue and white, you know, like our colors. So I have several owls because like our friend, I've traveled all over the world. I've been to 50 countries, and what I buy when I go to a country is an owl, if they have one. It makes a nice souvenir. So I have a ton of owls. So that's my story.
All right, Mike, I think I saw your hand raised next.
So my name is Mike Ross. I'm from class of 70, Baker College. And like everybody else, I have lots of owls. I put a picture of my latest collection on the board that y'all set up, which is a really nice feature. Unfortunately, the first 2 collections I had got lost in some moves that I had, and so I had to start over again. But a few owls that I have selected out is I have this Greek one, an Athena one that my brother got for me when he went to Greece, which of course is totally appropriate for the rice owls. Then when I went to work, I went to my first couple jobs after rice were in Beaumont. And my second job was at Gulf States Utilities. And one of the ladies there was real crafty, and she made a little note holder for your office. And she knew I was from Rice. And so she made this one. This is out of just little pine branch discs. It's pretty clever. Mike said, about his first owls were in Africa. My last owl was from Victoria Falls, Botswana. And there were a lot of nifty things, made from tin cans, Coke bottles, just all kinds of creativity. I wanted to buy them all, but I got to restrain myself now because I keep it only to one shelf. So this one's made out of a really heavy, stone. And then one of my absolute favorites is this owl, which, let me see if it'll focus. I don't know if you can tell, this is made out of zippers. And I lived in Livermore, California, and that is the home, or was the home, of Edna Tunison, who is the author and creator of what's called zipper art. And so all of the stuff there, except for the branch and the background, is made out of zipper teeth, and of course the beak is the handle. And I bought it from Edna herself because she was a delightful fixture on local art exhibitions and festivals in the Livermore area. A really nice lady and very creative to have come up with this kind of stuff. This owl, by the way, I mean, she made a number of this design, but this design is on the cover of her book, Zipper Art. And then finally, I guess it might have been one of the first ones I had, was this, which Mike may remember these from, and Wendy may remember these from the old days, but this was the President's Club when you gave a
Alexa, stop.
Pardon? When you gave a little bit of money, they inducted you into the President's Club, and your first year you got this. I don't think they do that anymore. They give you a nice smile electronically, but this is really nice. I love this.
I do too. I have one and I love it.
So I could talk forever, but I'm not gonna. But love my owls, both figurines and fellow alums.
Mike.
Well, fellow Mike, thank you for sharing all that. I especially like the one with the holes. I've not seen one where the holes go through the body of the owl. That's very clever.
Yeah, I got a number like that. The look on, you'll see the big one in the center of my photo is basically just an outline. Very, very impressive. I mean, there's so much creativity in representing owls. It's amazing. I'm glad we're not the horned frogs or the longhorns or the bears. How ordinary, even if they did win the NCAA championship. Oh, I forgot one more, sorry. I have a little one that's a flute playing owl. And I played flute and piccolo in the mob. And so somebody sent me this one. Good. I wish I don't have the records that Mike does. I keep thinking I ought to, but I'm too disorganized and lazy to do it.
Mike, that was awesome. Martha, I see your hand is raised.
Yes, I'm right here. We met at Rice and we got married on Beer Bike Day, so we're true owls. And then our son also graduated from Rice. And one of my favorites is this one. It has, I don't know if you can see it, there's an owl inside of it.
Oh,
It's carved, and then there's another owl inside. And then like everybody else, I collect them whenever we travel. And this one is from Australia. It's a leather owl. We got this in 91.
I like that too.
And then we went on an Alaskan cruise, and this is carved from a walrus tusk. So it's ivory, but it's from a walrus tusk, not an elephant. And it's tiny, as you can see. And then my absolute favorite was given to me in Japan by a little old lady, a very kind, beautiful Japanese lady. She just handed me this owl, and it's hand carved, and it looks like it has made up of leaves into the shape of an owl. And I treasure it because it was a gift from her. She wouldn't accept any money for it. And I could show you the rest. I posted a picture. I have a huge cabinet that has over 125 owls in it. And then we have owls all throughout the house. And I'm wearing some of my owl earrings. I have lots of jewelry, Christmas ornaments, cookie jars, salt and pepper shakers, just anything you can think of that can be made into an owl, we have it. And
Martha, did that Japanese lady know that you liked owls? And
yes, I think she had several, and I may have bought one from her. I think I bought a bigger one from her, and then she just like reached into her bag and handed me that one, and you know, I knew she needed the money, but she wouldn't accept it, so it's just very special. So yeah, I could go on and on about owls, but I'll let somebody else take a turn.
So much. That is awesome. Corinne, I see you are up next.
Hi, I graduated in 74, and I think the first owl I was given, you know, often there are little, you know, ducks will be in vogue, or foxes are in vogue, but back in the mid 60s, owls were in vogue. So I think my first owl was given to me probably when I was a 9th grader. And that was before I even knew I was coming to Rice. But since then, I have collected a few owls. I don't know that I have 200, but I have dozens and dozens, and probably well over 150. I have them on my bookcase behind me. So there are, you know, all kinds of owls here. And then on the shelf above are the little tiny ones. You can't really see them very well. But the owl that I wanted to share was the one that my husband gave me one year. I think it was probably our wedding anniversary. We got married on graduation weekend from Rice. We met on the first day of classes freshman year, and we married on the night before graduation, our senior year. And we had the reception at Cohen House. So we were both Rice owls all the way. But for one of the anniversary gifts, he gave me the 10 drachma coin from Athens that has an owl on the reverse, not the obverse. I think it was an Athena on the heads of the coin, but the Athena owl that Rice uses was on the reverse of the coin. And so he was able to purchase the actual coin from, I don't know how many years BC that the Rice owl is based on. So I believe Dr. Liebren has cufflinks that are made with this owl, but his are just reproductions from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. We talked to him one year at graduation weekend, and but mine is a real one. So it's a lovely possession that I have, and so that's my story. And I've got other owls that on future calls. I think this should just be the first of many. I think there are plenty of people that probably have owls and just haven't joined us, but could have joined in the future. Thank you.
So much, Corinne. That was really special. Pat, I see you are up next.
May I share a screen? Okay.
Are you able to start your video?
I don't have a video. I have a file that I've put up on the screen with sharing. Does that work?
Sure. All right, you should be able to do it now.
Okay. Can anybody see a whole bunch of little cartoons?
No.
Nope.
You're not seeing this? Okay. Well,
You may need to do the video first. And
okay,
then
well, I
share.
don't have a video. So let's see. I'll stand down then.
You can email it to me if you would like, and I will send that to you in a message, my email address, and I can share the screen.
Okay.
All right, so while she's doing that, Jay, I see your hand is raised.
Well, I was going to do the same thing of trying to share something on my screen. So
Well,
should we
let's try it out. Let's see if you can do it. You should be able to.
Okay.
There we go.
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, my collection is a sub-collection of a number of collections. And I have some that are, as many of y'all have, carved owls. And you can see some of them in the back. Many of them have been picked up on trips, as some of you have talked about. And a few of them I've just found in antique stores or places like that. And also there have been some that I have gotten from artists that I have known from particular shows or galleries or whatever. And a few are some that I had special made. I don't know if you can see my arrow.
Yeah.
You might see that.
Yes.
For instance, the owls over here are owl faces that are made into a hole in wood. And you can tell the maker of this what kind of owl you want. And she will make that and put it into an appropriate piece of wood for that particular owl. The barn owl is in some old barn wood. So I enjoy unusual owls that I find. I probably only have about 30 or so of these. But my bigger collections are from antique natural history lithographs. And I don't know if everybody's familiar with lithographs, but they were the way that books were illustrated before, say, the 1850s. And a lot of the old books were textbooks, or they were popular books to introduce the public to nature or different topics. And some of them were sort of encyclopedic, trying to display, for instance, at times they had some that were made to show all the known animals in the world at the time. And back in 1750 or 1820, that wasn't a lot of different animals. But an artist would go and make a painting of it. They would make a lithograph from that painting. And then that lithograph would be one page in one book, in one volume of a set. And that is one copy of that whole set. And there may be 500 copies. So it's a lot of work to make a single lithograph. But I love the combination of art and nature, my two favorite things. So I have probably, a wild guess, 15,000 antique lithographs of nature subjects. Most of those are animals, but some are plants. And quite a few of them are owls. I'm guessing, I have never counted them, but probably 300 or so of these old lithographs are of owls. And here are a few examples. These right here that have text around them are from 1560. And this particular artist, Gessner, was one of the first to depict animals in illustrations for books or papers or whatever. So I was lucky to find a couple of owls from that set. And they progress on through about 1700 to just plain drawings, not usually colored like these. And these are 2 pages of owls. And then about 1780 or so, they started to put them more into textbook type situations. And I have some complete sets of those that I've collected one at a time from here and there. And the ones that are owls are always particularly intriguing to me. And then as art techniques progressed over the ages, so did the quality of the pictures depicting different types of animal life. These 4 here are from a book that was depicting all the known birds at the time. And I think there were about 600. Of course, they didn't have computers, emails, anything like that. So it was really hard to know what was known everywhere. So most of the artists would go to the famous museums, see what specimens they had there, and that became the known birds. And these were done by a man named Temminck in 1820. And these 4 owls were among the ones that were in that collection of the known birds at the time. These 2 here were done by John James Audubon in 1841 as part of his Birds of North America book, the famous Audubon prints. And I have all of those except for about 10. And still looking to try to get those sometime. But really a cool collection. The artwork is excellent. And but of course I love the owls there too. The one right above the Audubons are from 1770. And that again was a depiction of the known birds at the time. This particular volume had 1,008 different plates in it. So that was 1,000 different lithographs that were made. And then however many copies of that had to all be repeated again. It took about 30 years to make that one book. Out of the 1,008, I have 1,003 of those birds collected so far and have my eye on the last 5. So I may finish that collection. And then through time, as lithographs became easier to do because they could do the coloring at the same time they did the printing. A lot more books came to be made, and there were a lot more different lithographs produced until regular photographic printing started in the early 1900s. So I have a lot of different bird prints. Some of those are owls. I love seeing nature art anywhere, anytime, and go to any exhibit that I can. And if there's an opportunity to get an example of something, then I'm going to try to get it if I can. So it's fun collecting. It's fun collecting things that I really enjoy, and especially the owls with the connection to rice. I can't hardly ever pass on an owl. So my house, both stories, is absolutely full of this art stuff, and as well as books on nature. So I do have one room that's dedicated to tribal masks, which are collected from Africa and Indonesia and Papua New Guinea and places like that. Probably have about 500 of those. So the house is full. If I ever have to downsize, that's going to be a problem. But I really enjoyed it and enjoyed having a chance to share some of it with you guys.
Thank you so much, Jay. That is a huge 15,000 is a crazy number. So that's awesome that you've collected something so special to you. We're gonna go back to Pet. Pet, are you ready to share?
I think so. I think I needed to press one more button. So let's try this.
All right.
How's that? Do you see cartoons?
I don't see them. Let me...
I give up. Okay.
I did send you my email address if you want to. Oh, try it now. I see your camera on now, so let's see if you can share. Do share screen. It looks like there might be a bit of a delay. Let's see. While we're figuring that out, let's go with Peggy.
My husband and I graduated from Rice in 64. And I don't know about the rest of you, but the best present anybody could give me is an owl. And over the years, I accumulated a lot. But we downsized 5 years ago. And so I'm down to just a few, but the ones I wanted to show, for one, this big guy is 18 inches high, and it appears that he was carved out of a tree trunk. And we don't remember where we got it, but it's been prominently displayed in our home for well over 20 years. And my new favorite is one my granddaughter picked out for my birthday this year. It's like on the it's like a Russian doll with owls, and it's painted, and the artist is Adam Zobel, which I have no connection to. There are 3 pieces to it. Anyway, my granddaughter picked it out for me, and I'm very proud. I have other ones. Mike has shown one similar to this. I can't remember what he said his was made out of. This one is wood. And then we have a decanter. That.
Wow.
Anyway, it's fun. It's fun to have these. And I wanted to say hi to Mike. Mike's grandmother and my grandmother lived next door to each other back in Dallas on Maplewood. And when they found out I wanted to go to Rice, they had me go talk to Mike and I had already made up my mind that that's where I wanted to go. But anyway, that's all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Peggy.
What's your grandmother's name?
What was your grandmother's name?
Your grandmother's name?
Maisie Saunders.
Sure. And Peggy went there. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah.
Why?
All right, Julie, you are up next.
Hi, y'all.
Hi.
Well, I posted a photo, but the most thing I said is that I have, if something comes with an owl in it, I probably got at least one of them. So everything from a incredible toothbrush holder, which has 3 owls, and you put your toothbrushes in the owls, right on through an armchair that has upholstery that's owls. That's probably my biggest piece is my armchair, but I've got everything. So I put on the photo, you know, you name it, I've got it. So as someone else was saying earlier, if someone, particularly my son, thinks, what am I going to get mom for Christmas? Of course, he always thinks of owls. So here's an owl, so my jewelry. He actually made this himself. He took a art jewelry class, and then he made this as his class project. So I wear it a lot. I love it. I also have earrings. I brought a couple of my bracelets, which are owls. I mean, just if you name it. Here's one of them. I wore a scarf. It's all owls. And I put in my picture, I brought a few of the things that I had put in my picture, some of my favorites. This one is a little owl, and it's interesting because it's from Mallorca. And I don't know if you can see, but on the front of it, it's got pearls. And of course, Mallorca is famous for its pearls. So that's how I always know where it's from, because of the pearls. This one I think is fairly unusual because it's from Monaco. How many of you have an owl from Monaco? I love this one just because of the colors, and it's from Italy. When I travel a lot, and as others have said, when I travel, I try to find something, and frequently it's an ornament for my Christmas tree. I have a whole Christmas tree that's just owls. And so I always look for something that I can use from a country for it as an ornament on my Christmas tree, and then another little knickknack that I can have around the house. And I picked up magnets and keychains and as gifts to give away to people, all kinds of things. So this is my most recent owl. It was given to me just a couple of weeks ago because I finished out my term as president of the Society of Rice University Women. And so they bought me a pair of owl bookends, which are very, very nice. I have a lot of owl bookends, and I have a lot of books, so it's a great present too. Anyway, you can't walk in my house and not realize that I collect owls, but I try to control my mania. I have a lot of other art too, so I space it around. I have one room, which is basically, it's a spare bedroom, but it's the owl room. So I have my owl painting there, an original watercolor, and a wall hanging, and the owl armchair, and books on owls, and so forth. So that's my owl bedroom. But otherwise, it's just spaced around the house in different places. I put it there too. It's really true. I have cousins who say that I'm one cat short of crazy, but it's really one owl short of crazy. So that's me. It's nice to see everybody, and thanks for sharing your owls.
Julie, do you have a photo of that armchair?
I don't have it. I didn't make one for tonight, but I can make one and put it up some next time. It's beautiful upholstery. And I saw it and I said, I do not need an armchair, but how can I pass this up? That's always the way it is. I look at something and say, I do not need this, but I can't pass it up. So someone else earlier mentioned going to resale shops. I go to resale shops, to the ones that are sponsored by charities. And if I see a little owl there, I look at it and I think, can I leave that poor little owl in this shop? And sometimes I do leave them because they're just nothing special. But if they're at all special, I have to buy them for $1 or $2 or whatever it is and take them home. So they're with the rest of the owls. So anyway, I try to control my mania, but it's not easy.
Thank you, Julie. That's how I feel about shoes. I understand. It looks like Bill and Rennie, you are up next.
Right. Well, this is my entire owl collection. My collection is atypical in this particular group because it consists of only a single owl. And this is it. You move it back a little further and show the whole thing. But it's a special owl. This is not just any owl. This is a survival owl. It's about roughly 10 inches tall, and it's made of welded steel. And that is critical to its existence at this point. I bought the owl in the early 60s on a trip to Mexico. And it resided in our living room for a number of years after that. But in 1970, our house was lost in one of the Malibu fires that comes through California periodically. And just about everything was a total loss. But anything that was made of steel survived. The temperature in a house fire will melt just about anything, but it won't melt steel. And that's the reason that the owl survived. So I managed to recover it from the ashes. Originally, it had a nice brown patina on it. There's a few little flakes left, but that's it. And I decided not to try to replace it, just to leave it as a symbol of the resilience of the owls. And this one is a resilient survivor. So that's why I've kept it all these years. And now we still have it displayed in our living room.
Very cool.
Very good.
Guys, so much. Toya, looks like you are up next.
Hi. So like Vanity and Julie, I have some owl earrings. I also have quite a large collection of vintage pins that are owls that I just pick up at different vintage shops or on trips, and that's a pretty big collection. I have this owl, which is from Panama. And a classmate of mine gave this to me as a birthday present. And we've been friends throughout college and are still friends, and both live in Austin. We're both lawyers. And so it was wonderful to receive that from him. This little owl found me. So on the other side of this painting is a Degas rendering. And at the time I got this at a little vintage shop, I thought, oh, is this one of those secret treasures? Did I really find a miniature Degas, right? So I went to an art gallery here in Austin to have it appraised and to have them look at it. And so they took it in the back with white gloves, everything, and they came back out and said, you don't have a Degas, but you do have this beautiful little owl. So that's why I always say this owl found me, and I love it and have it hanging in my home. And then here in Austin, I started a group. Our first party, we started around 2009, but in 2010, we had our first Rice Attorneys Holiday Social and Owl Exchange. So every December, the Rice Attorneys group in Austin, we have a continuing education program, and we have a party and we exchange owl gifts. And I received this one. This is one of the favorite ones that I got at the party, and it's a huge cookie jar. So I just wanted to say I love seeing all of the owls that you all have, and I hope that this will we'll be able to meet again and share our collections. And I'm also wanted you to know I'm on the ARA board. And so I just love seeing all of you participating in this event, and I hope we can get together again. Thanks.
The one from Panama, what material? Is that ceramic or?
It's some type of clay.
Uh-huh.
And then inside it has a space in the back where you can sit a little
bit of lantern. Yeah.
It's a lantern.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Toya. All right. Did I see anyone else? Pat, I'm going to share. I got her picture, and so I'm going to share my screen. All right. So does everyone see?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so these were Campanile drawings. These are the originals. I was tempted, the first one I saw in the trash can in the Campanile office. So I started watching for more of them, and I don't have all of them, but I do have 13. They're pen and ink drawings by Charlie Dent. This would be, I think he was probably in the class of 62 or 63. I was Pat Dodds back then, in the same class as Rin Bowers and Peggy Davis. Let's see, what else can I say? I think these are really special. I've held on to them for all these years because I thought they were just too good to be in the trash. And they are kind of funny. So they have to do with the athletics at Rice. For instance, the pig is Razorbacks. And so the owl is being sheared by a single-edged razor blade on the back of the razorback. The owl on the upper right corner is sitting on an alligator, and in the background is a pattern for alligator shoes. And on the near the lower left is the crimson tide being washed away by the owl. So some of the art depicts victories and some defeats for the owls, but it's about half and half. You may remember that we had a record-breaking pole vaulter at Rice when we were there. And so
Fred Hansen.
The origin of the pole vaulting display. Anybody have questions about anything that umpire with his finger on the balance, or the extra golf club to make sure to hit the
What's the erector set about?
Oh, that was apparently the Aggies putting us in a cage. I don't really remember. The person in the drawing has a slide rule hanging from his belt, so there can't be too many schools that that would have been able to be represented that way, I think, in our conference anyway. You can see the lower right, there's Scarecrow dressed like an Aggie, and the owl is pulling the straw out of his sleeve, the stuffing out of them. So it's all quite symbolic. Oh, the lower left is a Red Raider. And two trophies on the left. One has a bear wiping the owl out of the trophy cup, and the other one has an owl and a toad.
One toad.
Who would that be?
TCU Horned Frogs.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, yeah. So anyway, these are available to anybody who would also appreciate them. I'm always looking for opportunities to downsize. So if anybody wants
I'm sure the Rice Archive at the Woodson Center and the Fondren Library would love them.
Okay. Well, that's a worthwhile idea. So that's it. Hi, everybody.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Ren, I see your hand is raised.
Yes, when someone mentioned that their child always gave them gifts if there was nothing else they could think of, I wanted to share my owl mask. So, I mean, I'm still getting gifts of owls through the pandemic. So I've got an owl mask and an owl Alexa holder. So my plethora of owls is increasing with new technology and things of current events. We're not just getting more and more little figurines. We're branching out into other areas. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that you could get owl masks for COVID.
Where?
She got them online. Everything my children get is from Amazon. I think the inside says wedding star. So I don't know. She said she got them on Amazon, but that's what the inside of the mask says. So if you go on Amazon and I guess probably ask for wedding star gifts, or I don't know what else wedding star makes. And I certainly don't know what a mask would have to do with weddings, but you know, I'm not the creative thinker that some people are. So anyway, it's all good. I think we should do this again because I know there are more people with more owls, and I was really not planning on sharing it all tonight, but as the events wore on, I had to share just a couple of the sort of unique ones. And, you know, I've got dozens that are, you know, I've got crystal and I've got mugs and I've got, you know, things, but they're not as unique as some of the ones that have been shared tonight. But I just shared the ones that were a little bit unusual. So I look forward to doing this again.
Every owl comes with its own story.
That's right. That's right. I'm ready to hear more.
So much, Corinne. It looks like Ren, you are up next.
That's cool.
Okay, well, like almost everyone else who has spoken, when I go on trips, I always try to find an owl for a souvenir. I have a wooden owl tree ornament from Germany and a ceramic owl toothbrush holder from France and a lace owl from Belgium and, you know, whatever. But the most fun part for me is that all of my friends want to give me owls as gifts, and my family. I have owl house shoes and all kinds of things. But this little guy may be one of my very favorites. I think he was made in Peru, and a friend who went on a trip to Peru, she and her husband went with Russell and me. But she found this at a shop in Annapolis, and when she saw it, she knew I had to have it. And it just makes me so happy that all my friends think of us every time they see an owl. So like Wendy, I have a whole Christmas tree that's just owls, and we're kind of owl crazy. Our older son at one point came out of the bathroom after taking a bath, and the bathroom was all decorated with owls. And he said, "Mom, it's creepy. There are over 100 eyes looking at me in the bathtub." And I just told him, tough break. That's what you get for having Rice parents. But I've thoroughly enjoyed seeing everybody else's owls. And I agree, we should do this again. This is really fun.
So much. This one brought a lot of color. So
Ren, is that Peruvian owl mobile, or is it like part of the chair? Okay.
Delana, you are up next.
Hi, everybody. I had a couple that I wanted to share from Love at 89. This one I got at the airport in Tokyo when I was transiting. So I was just flying through. I think it's made out of some sort of seed pod or something. You can see it's incredibly fragile and delicate. I really don't know what it's made out of, but it was so unique and different. I had to get it when I was there. It's tiny. It's about, 2 inches tall. So I thought that was really different. Hadn't seen anything like that ever. This one is a Murano glass owl my husband gave me one year. He's also a Rice alum, and it has different colors of glass in it. I saw some gorgeous glass ones on the Kudo board. I have a picture there of my stuff. The other thing I wanted to show was this tea towel. They call it a owl. This was from a public art exhibition in Bath, England, that we just happened to stumble on. So they have these owl sculptures all around the city. They're about 3 to 4 feet high that have been decorated by different artists. And while we only got to see about 12 of them, we were just on a day trip. We just got this afterward as a souvenir of it. And there were just so many different ones, and they were so unique and different. It was an unexpected surprise and pleasure. So this was also a little bit different.
So that's like
what I wanted to share.
The cow parade that went around to several states, different artists, and then they sold them for charity, right?
Yeah, it was a charity thing. So this was in 2018. And I have a, they have a coffee mug that we bought after the fact as well. So this was like a real surprise that we were there. So it was fun. That's all I wanted to share. Thank you. I enjoyed seeing everybody's.
Thank you, Delana. We're gonna go with James for our last one, and then we're gonna take a group picture. I want you to hold up your favorite owls, but we'll do that after James goes. So you are up.
Okay, well, I posted my collection of owls that I've gotten over the years on the board, but I wanted to show three particular ones. Both of these, my daughter gave me after, well, this one she gave me after visiting Mexico, Cancun, just last month, and it's actually an ocarina. But this one she got a year ago when she went to Cabo San Lucas. And then I have this one, which I'm pretty sure, and I've conferred with my brother about it. I think my mother made this, and she did not go to Rice, but my father did. And my father was on the faculty at Rice for 27 years, and she was very active in, well, what would then have been the Faculty Wives Club. Maybe it's the Faculty Spouses Club, I don't know, but she did a lot of things. And I ended up with this, and I particularly like it. So I just wanted to share those.
So much, James. All right, thank you everyone for showing your owls. I love stories, so I loved hearing the stories behind them. We're so grateful that you came out. I agree, we should do this again because I know there's owls out there that may not have been able to make it tonight. So right now I want to take a group picture. So if you have your camera off and you have an owl you want to show in the picture, please cut it on. Alejandra, if you could take page 2, I will take page 1 since we have so many awesome people on this call. And I'll hold up my little ring. It's for the picture. So I'll count us down. Give me 1 second. All righty. So we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Perfect. I got it. Thank you, everyone, so much. Thank you, Mike, for leading this and for showing us a small, tiny portion of your collection. Please, if you're looking for any of our events, we have events that are still going. We're still rocking out there with our virtual events. You can find them at alumni.rice.edu or on social media at Rice Alumni. So thank you, everyone, and I hope you all have a great night.
Thank you.
It's been cathartic to know that there's more people with the same affliction.
Always. That's always a thing.
Owls Anonymous.
Owls
Anonymous.
Thank you, Vanity and Alejandra. Great job.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Good night.
everybody. Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was fun. Something I have thought about, and because people showed up for this and were enthusiastic about it, I might pitch it to the Alumni Association, is to have a owl mart at homecoming, and people who are downsizing can bring their owls, and it'd be like a silent auction or something, and all the money would go to a scholarship fund.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Night.